Alright, we're back with the next part of our Mage Hand Guide series. This is going to be about Invisible Mage Hand and the things you can do. So, it's going to be basically three things, three and a half. Number one is object interactions. That's going to be doors and lights. Number two is blocking paths. Number three is flanking to enable sneak attack, okay? So even though this door is like a hostile red action to open and close, it doesn't matter. Mage Hand's invisible. Mage Hand can open it, and then I can walk through. Walking through isn't actually a hostile action, only opening the door is. So we're good to go. Now I really want to show you how powerful opening and closing doors is. Okay. And you'll be surprised how many doors there are in the game. So we're going to hang out in this room and just basically become invincible. For those of you that have been watching my solo playthrough, you probably already understand this. But I just wanted to compile everything into a shorter segment Mage Hand guide so people can refer to them easier. Okay. So first we're going to go over two things, which is the door interactions and the path blocking. Okay. So we fire off an attack. I'm not going to hide here. Oh, I am gonna. It's the next part I don't hide, sorry. I am gonna hide here.
The flaming fist will not fall to the likes of you.
Right. So we get off a little sneak attack here. Don't need the Mage Hand flank because I have advantage from hiding. We'll hide again. Then close the door, right? But so you can block paths, but sometimes Mage Hand's hitbox just isn't big enough to actually block the path. Okay. And since we're so, let's say, close to the enemy right now, they're able to just walk through Mage Hand and come to us. But she doesn't have dark vision, and we're in a lightly obscured area. We have reliable talent with stealth proficiency. She can't see us, it doesn't matter. Okay. So we can just do the same thing again. But this time, I'm going to put a chair through the doorway and help block the path. Okay. We'll get into a little bit of an intro to stealth here. You can see that I passed the stealth check when that dwarf walked in, but then I automatically failed it when he got a little bit closer because he has dark vision. So once you're within that 12 meters of the dark vision, you automatically lose stealth within lightly obscured areas. No matter what, like without a stealth roll or anything. But that's okay. We have ways around that. So, if we look at the other stealth roll DCs here, 10, 14, 10, 15. Okay. I think we're going to single out whoever that is, Manip. The difficulty class 14. This is based on the passive stealth perception, which is 10 plus the wisdom modifier. So 10 plus 14, 4 from the 18 wisdom for 14, and then plus any other extra bonuses. Okay, that's going to be the DC for the stealth rolls. That DC is almost always going to be lower than our reliable talent plus dexterity plus expertise, which is 24. I don't think I've encountered anything over 24. So just again, brief intro to stealth. We have a 100% chance to pass our stealth rolls unless there's some enemy I'm not aware of that has a passive stealth perception of over 24. If there is, let me know in the comments.
Let's get going.
But again, if you're in lightly obscured areas, you'll automatically fail with dark vision. Okay, you have to be careful about people with dark vision. But we're going to go back and hide. One of the benefits of having Mage Hand open and close the door for us is that when the door opens, we can still be out of the sight cone.
They're dying for me. All of them.
Okay, so now let's repeat the play cycle.
Can't even catch my breath.
You have to be careful here because the chairs are breakable that block the path. But the hiding typically just tricks them, right? Even though some of these enemies aren't surprised, we're hiding, we're behind the door, and the path is blocked, they don't move. If you are sufficiently far away, sufficiently difficult to get to,
Breathing.
the enemies will just stand there. Mage Hand opening and closing the door for us allows us to conserve movement and allows us to
My way.
stay out of sight cones if they're looking at the door. Which helps us maintain advantage on our attacks. Okay.
Blood comes easy these days. Very well.
I don't have a shot on these people now because they're around the corner, kind of annoying. But I want to continue to conserve my movement just in case. So instead, I'll just cast a scroll. I don't need line of sight for some of these scrolls. I can just put down a wall of fire, control the zone. I can't lose concentration because I'm not getting hit. I can continue to do what I do.
I don't need any attention right now.
This right here is an example of why you should have Mage Hand close the door first. Okay, I was still in the sight cone. I'm fine, but if one of the enemies had dark vision, I might have been in trouble. Okay. Now this hound here, this wolf, sorry, has a stealth DC, I think it was 15, is that what I saw? 15, but only has a +1 to wisdom. So there are multiple hidden bonuses that enemies can have to their stealth DC. So you can see his is 15, like I said, the stealth DC, but only a +1 to wisdom. I doubt this wolf has proficiency in perception, but maybe that's one of the hidden stats. But you can't just trust the wisdom for the stealth DC. Nice thing about Rogue 11 with reliable talent is that you never have to worry about passing the stealth roll, right? Even a halfling with advantage will, once in a blue moon, still fail a stealth roll. I also just don't like halflings because of the decreased movement. That's my preference. Alright, so next we're going to talk a little bit more about the invisibility itself. I talked about object interactions. Moving objects will cause you to lose invisibility, okay? But you can refresh that with a short rest. You can also drink an invisibility potion, throw an invisibility potion, cast invisibility with the scroll or whatever onto the mage hand, but it'll only last 10 turns. The short rest refreshes it indefinitely. And then the other object interaction that's nice sometimes is just turning out lights. It can enable the Shadow Thief ring, it can enable Shadow Step from Shadow Monk, it can enable your stealth for lightly obscured areas. Okay. The last thing is just a little bit more about enabling sneak attack. The most common thing everyone thinks about is, oh, I don't have advantage, and the flanking ally can enable my sneak attack. But that's really just step 1. Step 2 is having disadvantage and having advantage in enabling your sneak attack, right? So, because we're so far away from these guys now, we have disadvantage because target's outside of range. But if we hide, we get advantage. Okay? And if you have disadvantage and advantage, they cancel out. And we can still sneak attack because of the flanking mage hand. And because mage hand's invisible and not joining combat, we can freely move mage hand around wherever we need to. So, I'm just looking at the bonuses to the stealth roll here. Steel Watcher has +0 to wisdom, but the stealth roll is a little bit higher. Again, they have some enemies have hidden bonuses, okay? So the difficulty class was 15, so that +5 is just coming from a hidden bonus. And because we're attacking with disadvantage and we're so far away, now we can hide, and they basically won't even bother checking for us. Okay. So we'll see that happen now. They kind of move around a couple steps, they're confused, but they were just hit by someone who was like a mile away. They don't even know what happened. And the mage hand enabling our sneak attacks just allows us to do a little bit more burst damage to make our attacks more efficient and honestly just more fun. So, again, just to summarize, we have object interactions, most importantly, lights and doors. We have blocking paths, which may or may not help depending on the situation, but it can be useful. If you can even just block paths to make it more difficult for the enemy to get to you while you're hiding, they may not even bother checking for you. And lastly, enabling sneak attack via flanking, which you don't have to think about it as just if you don't have advantage, using it to get sneak attack, but if you have both disadvantage and advantage, you can get sneak attack, which is more useful than you may think. If you look at my solo run, you'll see that I abuse this constantly in Act 1, where because I'm so far away, enemies don't even move.